for those 20 spots. We hope to see that grow. We hope that you coming into Mines would be interested in doing these kind of real-world research opportunities. I'll let Andy tell you more because he has really lived the research dream, I think.
All right, so I am Andy. I am a junior in chemical engineering. I started my research life my freshman year. My mentality behind was, I think, my freshman year, I thought the more I put into my Mines experience, the more I would get out of it. I'm also involved in a lot of those programs here. So I would really like to see what it is like to do research at an excellent university such as mine. So I joined a research group. I have never done any scientific research at all in my high school. I'm just an average player. So to me, I feel like research is like a maze. There could be some treasure at the center of the maze, and I need to do some research on my project. I open the door, I do research, open the door, step into a room, look around. What I have found, I would not know until I do my research. Go deeper, do some more research, go to another room, see what I have found. Deeper and deeper until I reach the center of the maze. So I read a lot of technical publications, and the first time I read a paper, it took me literally 3 hours, and I still did not understand everything in it. It's kind of pain. It's fine, it's fine. And I reached out to people inside my group, outside my group, to seek their expertise and their opinions on my project. It literally took me almost a semester for me to learn fundamentals and basics of conducting scientific research. During that process, I felt self-doubts, to be honest. I asked myself, am I doing right? Am I setting the experiment correctly? And the ultimate question was, is there really an answer to the research project I try to address? I do not know. Nobody knows, not even my professor, because original research, nobody has ever done it before. I did not let those self-doubts stop me, because I would not know the answer to those questions and my self-doubts until I did my research. So I kept putting in my time, my efforts, and at last, it paid off. I succeeded. Now, my research project is included in a thesis of a PhD student. A thesis is like a very long essay. You spend 5 years writing. So it's kind of important to that PhD student. This experience has really helped my intellectual growth and connect me to different people. This past summer, I was working at Johns Hopkins. I also was invited to University of Minnesota. I also went to Houston at BP. They also invited me to go there, and Procter & Gamble loved how I talk about our research. People care about those things. But my intellectual growth, I want to emphasize, is that I learned the courage to explore the unknown, the confidence to tackle the ambiguity. I say, if I challenge you to work on a project, nobody else in human history has ever worked on it. Are you confident, or are you comfortable with working on it? If you asked me 2 years ago, I would say, I'm just a freshman maybe. But now I would say I am very confident in working on those kind of projects. Just show me, I'm gonna work on it, I'm gonna succeed. That is the intellectual growth I have gained from research, and that is my story. And back to the first place. I did not join research because I was super interested in research. I joined because I want to enhance my Mines experience. I think that is a very important part of college life. At least I think so. And no matter you like research, you don't like research, give it a try. Who knows? And feel free to reach out to me. My email address is there. And send me an email, and I will reply with it. Thanks.
Thank you. About Teach at Mines. You know, you can get a job almost anywhere as a math or science teacher. There are student loan forgiveness programs and scholarships for math and science teachers. And most teaching jobs have better retirement benefits than you'll see in private industry. The mission at Teach at Mines is to take Mines students who have a passion for STEM subjects along with a drive to teach and provide a pathway that poises them to make an impact on STEM education, and we believe eventually STEM itself. Teach at Minds produces teachers with exceptional content knowledge and pedagogical knowledge. Go back to the idea of empathy and innovation and creativity and critical thinking. You're going to get that here at Minds in your education through these Mind Plus experiences and other opportunities. Take a student like that, put them back in the classroom, see what kind of impact they will make. So Teach at Minds offers these opportunities. There are scholarships, ways to immerse yourself, and Blue will tell you more about his experience through Teach at Minds. Teach at Minds, their mantra is, those who can, do, and those who can also inspire, teach. Blue?
Thank you very much, Toni. First of all, thank you all for sacrificing your Saturday morning to be here. To all of the students in the room, I sincerely hope that you learned something meaningful in your time here. These 3 sessions that you see this morning are just the tip of the iceberg of what Minds has to offer you. My name is Blue Brennan. I am a junior in engineering physics, so we just call that physics here. And I've had the privilege of being involved in every aspect of the larger umbrella of Teach at Minds. So I'm the treasurer of our student club. I've been taking courses since the 2nd semester of my freshman year towards receiving a license for secondary STEM education. When I first came to Minds, I had no intention of becoming a teacher. I didn't have the benefit of a presentation like this, so I wasn't aware that the program even existed here. But that kind of changed for me within my first couple of weeks here. Every fall semester, we have something called the Celebration of Minds, where all of the student clubs gather together on the intramural fields kind of at the top of campus and put up booths to present what they have to offer to the larger community. So that's a great place for recruitment for new incoming students. And at one point, while I was perusing the booths, I was grabbed and physically pulled over to the booth for the Teacher Education Alliance, which is our student club involved in Teach at Minds. And there we started talking a little bit about teaching. It had occurred to me before, in the same way that some students want to be firefighters or veterinarians, but I hadn't really put much practical thought into it. And when I showed up to the first meeting, we dealt with more of the nitty-gritty, some of the misconceptions that people have around teaching, like the fact that it is actually possible to live quite comfortably on a teacher's salary, and that salary increases over time in a way that's typically more reliable and predictable than a lot of places in industry. I also had it pointed out to me that teachers get to enjoy summer vacations for the rest of their lives, which was not a factor in my decision, certainly. So from there, I took a fairly low-risk approach into getting involved with teaching. I started taking courses through the Teacher Education Alliance Minds UNC partnership, which we just call Team Up. And those classes fulfilled the requirements for my humanities electives. So if I decided that I didn't want to teach, I still wasn't wasting any of my time. But I got to learn about some of the larger details of how to operate within a school, what the day-to-day responsibilities of teachers are, and also more of the like high psychology and behavioral studies that go into effective communication of ideas, and how to say words that make a person a better person by the end of a 45-minute class period. That all really came together for me this last spring when, as part of my early field experience, I actually spent 2 days a week in a high school classroom. I was working alongside an expert teacher, so in the mornings I got to observe her instruction and see what kind of advice she had to offer. And in the afternoons, I acted as the primary instructor, which was an incredible experience. For one thing, these people were not much younger than myself, but the thing that I really got out of that I didn't get to see in my classes as much was this experience of taking something like STEM that I'm incredibly passionate about and getting to share that passion with other people, really deliver to them these fundamental truths of the universe that help them solve problems that they see in their own life and critically think about the world around them. So I'm still involved in the program now. I'm actually currently taking a class involving teaching exceptional learners and students with disabilities, and I plan to be back in the classroom this spring. I'd highly recommend emailing me if you have any questions. We'll also have a booth this afternoon to answer questions there. and ask about the Noyce Scholarship, because that's making it possible for me to do all of this as well. Again, thank you for your time.
Last but not least, I want to tell you about our Entrepreneurship and Innovation Center. E&I here wants to help equip your creative spirit and enable you to change the world through innovation ideas and entrepreneurial pursuits. The center provides students with expert mentorship, collaborative and maker spaces, tools and equipment, as well as academics courses to help you think from an entrepreneurial mindset. The center sponsors hackathons and innovative competitions, and it is home to the Student-Directed University Innovation Fellows Program. I'm going to turn it over here to my tech support and my support in all things today. Thank you, Emma. Emma May is one of mine's first University Innovation Fellows, and she's accomplished so much in her 2 years here at Mines. We're in year 3. 2.2 years at Mines, and also at other universities around the world.
I sure can. Perfect. So the University Innovation Fellows Manifesto, our motto, begins with the statement, "We believe students can change the world." And it is this statement that drew me to the program in the first place. So when I was younger, if you would ask me, what do you want to do when you get older? What do you want to be? I would say, I don't really know, but I want to change the world. People would look at me like, oh, you're just a silly little naive girl. Like, sure, okay, but what do you actually want to do? And I didn't know. But I knew I wanted to do something that was going to make an impact. And then as I grew up, I got to be about to where you guys were, looking at where was I going to go to college and what was I actually going to do? What was that going to look like? That was a really scary place because I realized the world's a hard thing to change. My sister was an RA here, and she had heard about the University Innovation Fellows Program. So she connected me with a fellow here on campus named Asya. Asya and I texted, and actually she called me on the phone to tell me all about this program, and kind of explain it to me. So the Fellows Program is a global movement of students who are actively working to change higher education and the world. To become a fellow, you go through 6 weeks of pretty rigorous training, all done online, created through Stanford's Design School, in innovation, entrepreneurship, design thinking, and creativity. We learn how to find problems on campus and in the world around us, and then how to come up with really creative solutions, and then how to actually act on those. We are entirely self-driven, so we find things around our campus that we care about enough that we want to change, and we learn how to work with faculty and administration to actually make those changes happen. So here on campus, we have created maker spaces, first-year living communities. We hosted TEDx. We've worked on curriculum redesign. Two weekends ago, I hosted a conference where I brought fellows in from across the country for a weekend focused on learning how to change our perspective and build empathy for and design for people with disabilities or who have had very different experiences than our own. A really unique part of the program is that after you go through those 6 weeks of training, you actually get to head out to Stanford for a weekend, and a long weekend in the Silicon Valley, where fellows who have gone through training in the last year all come and gather for a really, really immersive weekend, kind of tying up all of this training, all these things you've learned. In that weekend, you get to go to Google, Microsoft, a few of the really cool areas, and meet with these fellows who are doing incredible work. And that's really the first value point that has kept me in the program, has been this community of fellows. They are the most inspired and inspiring students that I've ever met. These are students who are actively working on their campuses and in the world around them to make an impact now. Things like people telling them that, oh, you're too young to do something, or just wait till you're a little bit older. We don't have money for that project. These are things that are never going to stop a fellow. We like to hear those challenges because that means it's something that needs to happen. And we're going to find ways to work around that. The second thing that has kept me in the program has been the opportunities and the skill sets that it's given me, and the confidence that has instilled in me to go forward. So I still don't know what I want to do when I grow up. but that's okay. And I don't need to know what it's going to look like. Because of UIF, I have a totally different mindset and a totally different way of approaching the world and approaching problems that I know wherever I do go, I'm going to be making an impact because that's what it's taught me to do. I think differently because of it. I find problems everywhere and I fall in love with problems. It's kind of a common theme in all of these programs. We love problems because that's where we can make an impact. So as a fellow, I've learned how to find problems anywhere, and I know that I can come up with creative solutions and find the resources, find the people, make the connections that I need to do something about it. And to me, that has been so, so valuable because I've seen the impact that I can have here as a student. I'm just a junior, and I've already made a huge impact on this campus and on people across the country and across the world. So this program has really, it's given me a home. It's given me people that I love all across the world. And it's instilled in me a confidence that I never knew I could have. So thank you so much. I will not be at the resource fair later, but my contact info is going to come up in a second. Please email me if you have any questions or come up and talk to me now. So thank you.
Because we had 7 important stories to share, and I think 7 very compelling storytellers who shared those experiences with you, we don't really have time for Q&A. We have about a minute before you're going to move to the next presentation, but if you want to come up and if you weren't able to get the contact information from the ambassador or have any questions for me, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day here at Mines, and bigger than that, I hope I see some of you in the classroom. Have a great afternoon.